Well, hello there, everybody, and welcome back to the Frozen Frontier.
Welcome.
Hello.
Yes.
I'm happy to have you all here.
Right. So we kind of glossed over taking warmth damage when jumping into the water. So let's do that now. Ryan, you completely soaked yourself, except you took off your boots and your coat, right? So when you were
Yes.
submerged in the water, all of your gear ceased to provide warmth points, and you take a amount of damage. You're going to take 5 points of cold damage, or you're going to take 5 points of warmth damage.
Yeah, so my gear is rendered useless,
Right.
bringing me to my base, which is average of con and will, which for me is 11.
Right. And then you take an additional 5 points of warmth damage from that.
So it's brought to 6.
And then until you're placed in a position where you can start warming up, you're going to take D4 damage per minute.
How many minutes is it from the beach to the
to
the fort?
Maybe 2 minutes.
Okay.
Because it's uphill and in the snow, so it's kind of a bitch. If it were a nice, warm, dry area and there was a staircase, you could probably run it in a minute if you were in a hurry. So in this situation, you're going to take another 3 points of warmth damage. Yeah.
So you said 6 plus 3?
5 and 3.
5.
5 and 3 is 8?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm brought to 3, so I'm still fine. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
close
you
to starting. Yeah.
Right. If you had gone below 0 warmth points, you would start taking 1 point of con damage. And what is it? -1 to hit and a 5% chance of spell failure?
Yes.
Yeah.
For
Okay.
each point of con loss.
For each point of con loss. But you get covered. You get warmed back up before you get there. Your clothes can be left to dry and melt in a different near the fireplace.
So
The girl, on the other hand, probably took some serious con damage.
Yeah, that's what
Yes,
Still
the poor girl is alive, but
Okay.
she's going to need to probably not leave the building for a few days while she recovers and makes sure that she's not freezing to death.
Yeah, maybe she
Sadly,
shouldn't have
not
been an
doing
idiot.
You're
Yep.
calling her love for her father and her wanting not to be lost an idiot move?
Yeah.
I mean, she almost died.
I mean,
for it,
she almost got himself. Yeah, she almost got herself killed for a human. It's not worth it.
For her father. You people need to learn to love. Only one of you has actually ever been in love, it sounds like.
Yep.
Who's that?
You're all a bunch of heartless
William.
bastards. That's right.
Well, I don't know. I could see Grimes having fallen in love a lot.
Built around
I fall in love
Do
every day
not
of my
speak
life.
of what you do not know.
Yeah.
Jaromir has lived long, full life up till now.
So, unless you've got something planned, Neal, I would like to go and talk to Captain Hughes about
Please.
I
the
think
situation.
I think we're all right here in her office,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, Captain Hughes, what's the deal? Have you had any problems with monsters around the fort? Have you suffered any attacks? Is there any immediate concerns for us?
Kobolds. Strange kobolds. Little, short, furry ones. My men have taken to affectionately calling them snowbolds. But they're essentially the same things as what you would find back home.
Are they
Rats.
well organized?
Organized, yes.
Have they tried to attack the fort?
No. They have poked around. We catch their scouts every now and then and drive them back. They're fairly timid creatures, easily scared off.
You're worried about them attacking people when you're collecting food or firewood?
She nods slowly. They don't seem to be a threat to this fortress, but a small patrol could easily be picked off. Their thick fur allows them to hide in the snow, blend right in. Won't see them coming.
It's imperative that the surrounding area of the fort is secure and that we can gather resources safely. Do you have any indication of where they are based?
She shakes her head again. Like I said, they're like rats. They could be hiding anywhere. The coasts have harbor seals and walruses, if you are in need of more furs.
Are they dangerous?
Harbor seals are harmless. Walruses are...
We
Quite
could
dangerous.
go clubbing, no?
She nods. Yes.
Sorry.
Seems like a decent idea.
Best way to preserve the fur.
And that blubber is surely useful for fuel.
Yes.
Yaramir.
Do you know when you're planning on setting out? William, is it?
Yes, it's hard to tell what time of day it is here. Is this approaching night?
It's afternoon.
Perhaps we shall set out in the morning.
That's wise. You wouldn't want to let our local hero out of the fire until he's quite warm.
Yeah, warm yourself up, Grimes. We'll head out tomorrow. Faris, how would you suggest we find these kobolds?
They ambush travelers.
Yeah.
They
We may have
could.
to spring their trap, capture one, get it
That's
to
what I was
spill
thinking.
information.
Make ourselves look weak, head out, wander around the surrounding area until we run into them.
It's very hard to make Yaramir look weak. I am quite intimidating, all of my 20 pounds.
I look down on you. Tiny frame. Yes, indeed, you are quite the imposing figure.
Indeed.
Well, that sounds like a good as place as any to start. Is there any other pertinent information you've gathered from the surrounding area? Is there any places of interest, old buildings from before the split?
She shakes her head. We have not ventured very far away from the coast. Maybe a mile at most. The inland terrain is rough, unforgivable. You can almost never find the ground. You have to walk very carefully. I think you've been supplied with snowshoes? Did they give you snowshoes?
Yes, I believe we've got snowshoes.
Good.
My friend Grimes here is our the man in charge of making sure that we don't fall down the side of a mountain or run into any obstacles.
I didn't bring snowshoes.
We have a few extras.
They weren't listed in the player's handbook.
Do my leather boots not count as snowshoes?
No.
So will I be giving up a warmth point to wear snowshoes? Or
No.
They're usually attachments.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're-
think
they're
like
basically-
tennis
they're
rackets
like
on your
cleats,
feet.
right?
Boots.
Yeah, they're like
Oh,
cleats,
right,
right?
right,
You
right,
just basically attach spikes to the bottom of your shoes.
No, tennis
It's
rackets.
a big wide boat for your
Oh, okay.
I
Yeah.
do
We were
have a
talking
set of
about-
crampons.
I thought we were talking like the climbing ones, like the big spikes that you like jam into the ground.
No, those are crampons. We're not talking about them.
well, we can grab some of them from the fort if they've got
Yeah,
them.
the fort has a few pairs of snowshoes that they've kind of hastily made in case of emergencies. You know, like someone's breaks. They can outfit you with those. But that's it. That's the last 4 pairs of snowshoes that they have on hand.
Okay. What about firewood and rations? Are we well stocked?
She nods. We have rations for ourselves, and we've been expecting you, so we have further supplies that you can take inland.
Have you managed
Do you know where
to
you're
secure-
going?
No. Well, unless do you have any indication of where most of the encounters stem from?
I
East,
reckon within a
west.
mile of the fort.
East, south, west? No.
Continent is to the south.
The kobolds, though.
As
I
I
guess south is
said,
the only way.
they're like
All right.
rats.
Fair.
Well, let's go catch a rat, shall we?
Well, let's
Well, I
get some
think
rest
you should
first.
Stay here. As medical expert, I believe you are very close to hypothermia.
He's probably
Yes,
right, Grimes.
It is bloody cold. Is there any wine around here? I think
Are
that might
you
speed up the warming
doctor?
process.
Geneva Hughes says, speaking right over Grimes, completely ignoring him.
I would not go so far as to call myself doctor, but in many years of studying the human body and its anatomy, I have learned more than a few things on how to stay alive.
She looks to one of the other soldiers in the room and goes, "Private, please fetch Sergeant Elizabeth." And
I
Private
too
runs-
spent a
goes running.
great many years studying the human body. I do not think that qualifies me to give medical advice.
Watch your tongue, Grimes. Don't be.
I believe our studies differed. In Matava, it's illegal to do what you do to women. Only in sanctity of ritualistic
Yes, I've
times.
heard
It's
of.
difficult to explain in non-Matavan. You see, there is ritual for couples to create new progeny, but can only do it specific ritual religious activity. All other time, you would go to jail. I guess you are familiar with jail. Perhaps this is not custom that you were aware of and then got thrown in jail. Did you try to create progeny with princess? I think I see why you were in jail, yes.
Sergeant Elizabeth comes in through the door now.
I hope you didn't do that, Grimes.
She's youngish, early 20s. She looks a little bit too young to be a medical sergeant in the army. She's maybe 5'6", 135 pounds. She steps in, takes a look around.
How old did you say?
Early 20s.
How is that too young to be a medic?
Well, everyone else here is a lot older. Geneva Hughes is in her 40s.
Residency in Frozen Frontier Med School.
Yeah, like David's 41. Sergeant Joseph, who you guys were hanging out with earlier, is 32. So everyone's in their 30s or 40s pretty much. There may be some people in their late 20s, but here is like a non-commissioned officer, who's 23, and she's younger than all of the people that she's leading. So
basically, we've been shipped off to the Arcadian retirement home.
30s and 40s is not retirement age, Sean.
Yeah, well.
College students,
fucking elves,
young, whatever.
Yes, are you not older than all of us? Hold on, I need to know more of Elf boy, Ferris. How old are you? I hear elves live for eternity.
40.
So while Yaramir is talking with the elf, I will approach the sergeant.
Sergeant Elizabeth. Yeah, she's got short cropped blonde hair. She's wearing leather hides. She's got a shield on her back.
I stand shivering and I say, Sergeant, I hear you are the resident medical expert. I
am.
Seem to have frozen my bones rescuing the young cook's daughter. I require urgent medical attention.
Especially on his bone.
She, not quite sure what to make of you, makes herself a charisma check.
I jest. It's a pleasure to meet you. I don't know why they summoned you. Perhaps to consult with
please remove
our
your
own
pants.
quirky doctor. I am. Grimes actually blushes.
You heard the woman, Grimes.
I'm.
It's an order.
She's a sergeant. She outranks you.
Everyone stands around while Grimes disrobes.
I think I'm already more or less disrobed, right?
Elizabeth takes a few minutes to go and carefully inspect your toes and your fingers and make sure all of the vital points on you are still intact.
This is much less fun than Grimes had anticipated.
Much less fun. She
and he's super
gives you
cold,
so
it's really not that impressive.
She gives you a thorough inspection of all your extremities
in front of everyone,
including the little girl. Yeah.
No.
And at the end of it, she throws some big heavy furs on you, gives you a pat on the head, and goes, "You'll be fine. Suck it up."
No prescription. I
take one fire for 6 hours at a time. You have no need to see me in the morning.
Girl. She is quite humorous.
Well done.
She gives you a dirty glare when you say "little girl," and marches out.
Right then, let's get ourselves comfortable and get some sleep before tomorrow.
Corporal Alicia, which is Kel Hughes's assistant and also the quartermaster here, leads you guys to your shared room. It's a fairly small room.
3 feet away, right?
Yeah, but she still, leads you there because you don't know where it is yet. She leads you to this small place. It's maybe 9 feet by 13 feet, and there's a couple of bunks set up in there, and not much else. There's maybe a little shelf and a very, very crude table. It's basically a large stump that's been brought in. So you guys are stacked, 2 bunk beds adjacent to each other with a little table in between and a small shelf nearby.
I'll take her bottom bunk.
Okay.
Start. like taking off my sword, put it down, my harpoon, my javelins.
All right, I'll take the top bunk above William.
Looks like it's you and me together, Ferris. I will question you long into night, I promise. We will leave no hour unturned and unused.
Corporal Alicia is a little bit smaller than everyone else. She's like 4'10" and 100 pounds. She's a really small person. She's maybe late 20s. She's got red hair that comes down to, a little past shoulder. Yeah.
Alright, I thank her for leading us here.
Okay.
Bloody matriarchy down here. Oh, this is the Caldonian expedition.
Awkward silence fills the room after Grimes' comment.
Yeah. You, what was your name? Corporal? Are there any daggers lying about this fort?
Oh, I think I waited until after the corporal left to make my sexist comments.
All right, you can find her walking by or something.
I'll just say, what was your name? Corporal? Where are some daggers lying around this fort?
Corporal Alicia. And if you need any supplies, you can requisition them from me, but I'm not about to hand you a dagger.
Would we not have the greatest need of everybody in this fort? We're the ones going out on the expedition.
If you would like to make a request for equipment, please fill it out on paper and hand it in.
Where are your papers?
She gives a nod in the direction of Kel Hughes' room.
All right, so I'm gonna...
What do you need this dagger for, anyway? Don't you have your own?
No. One of the few things I forgot to bring with me, actually. I have my swords, but they're not too useful when things get close enough.
She sets her jaw and gives you a look of maybe disappointment or disapproval.
Are you competing with Grimes to see who can piss off the NPCs the most?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Anyways, Miss Corporal, I'll bring your paper to you.
As Grimes is getting settled on the bunk above, I'll stand up, and I assume I'm tall enough to sort of poke my head up and speak to him. I'll say, look, Grimes, I appreciate what you've done today, saving that little girl, but I'm going to need you to respect the authority of rank a little bit more while we're here. Don't speak for
the fort has sprung a leak.
Rank. Well, I'm not a military man, so I don't really know all the protocols, but yes, sir.
Well, if they've got a title, they're above you, so just remember that. And I'll go back down.
Is there anything other than requisitioning a dagger that you guys would like to do today?
I mean, I was going to go in and ask Hughes if I could just have a dagger. Like, if she just has a dagger on her.
She looks, you ask Hughes and she says, talk to Corporal Alicia. She's the quartermaster.
You have a paper I can fill out to ask for a dagger. You humans have an awful lot of
requisition form? Yes, we have a requisition form.
Do you know how much paper costs in this world?
It's made out of like papyrus or something.
Still like 8 silver a sheet.
Yeah, plus the ink. I don't know. Either way, Ferris will take it. Start filling it out in Elven at first, and then kind of realize his mistake, cross it out, and refill it out in Common.
Okay. What is the reason you're giving for your need for a dagger?
I mean, it's a wilderness expedition. Like, I imagine daggers have all sorts of wilderness uses, like
all sorts of wilderness uses,
animals,
but this is
put something in the form.
This is something that we're going to be doing probably quite a bit of. Is the fort maintains a set of supplies, and in order to access the supplies, you're going to need to provide good cause for them because they're very careful about tracking where every little thing goes. They don't want to accidentally end up with 0 axes or 0 daggers one day. So there's going to be some, you're going to need to provide just cause for your requisitions.
General frontier usage, like sure. I'll put down, like hunting, all the things that you would use a dagger for. I'm not a proficient survivalist in the real world, but Ferris is in the game, and he would probably know more than I do about uses for a dagger.
Okay.
I thought you would just go with I'm an elf, therefore deserve dagger.
Does anyone else have a dagger on them? Corporal Alicia will walk around and take a look.
Grimes has loads.
loads of daggers.
But
and William's got a dagger. Does Jaromir carry a dagger on him?
No, it's too heavy. Cannot carry.
Okay.
You think it's joke, but it's true.
No, I did not think it was a joke. That's why it was funny.
But as we sleep, if Jaromir is trying to like interrogate Faris the whole night, I'll get annoyed and remind him
Oh,
of
I
curfew.
probably only do that for like an hour or two, but I have to sleep so I can do spells.
Yeah. Alright, so, I demand a curfew.
do they give me a dagger?
No, your request is denied right off the bat. She takes a look at it. She looks at the rest of your party, kind of asks around a bit, and then eventually comes back to you with the same piece of paper that's been stamped with a denied.
Denied.
Red. Yes, hands it over to you. Denied.
What is
Seems
it you're
your
looking
crew
for?
have enough equipment as it. I deem your crew to have enough equipment.
We've only been here a couple of hours, Faris. What is it you're looking for?
A dagger. Apparently, I can't get a dagger in this fort.
Do you not have your own?
I do not. Hence why I was looking for one.
What do you need a dagger for?
Corporal Alicia speaks up. Perhaps if you provided some function or use around here, we might be more willing to provide you with equipment. But as it is, all you've done is take up space and burn wood.
You haven't exactly made the best first impression yourselves. Within
Fine.
3 minutes of
Faris.
getting here, a
Faris.
person
Faris.
jumped off a boat and moved around. I thought I was coming to a professional expedition, and this seems more of a circus.
Thank you, Corporal. That's fine. Good
Corporal
night.
gives you a salute and marches out. And I think
Faris,
it's
what?
This woman.
I'm going to like this Ferris fellow. I can tell already.
We need to keep her on side, otherwise every single request is going to be denied. So let's just show a bit of respect.
Keep her away from me then, William.
Just go to sleep. Let's.
Can I go meet men? I feel like we have met only 4 people in all of Fort. The entire expedition.
Yeah, so looking around, there are 3 sergeants. The sergeants are Sergeant Elizabeth, Sergeant Joseph, and Sergeant Mallory. And then there's Captain Hughes and Corporal Alicia, and that's like the command structure. And you're right, that is 4 out of 5 of them are female. You also have met Private David. He's the cook. He's the one with the little girl. And then there are, 24 other just grunts, privates in the army. They don't have names, and they have a non-even gender distribution. I think it's like 16 men, 8 women.
I wish to go among them and discuss how they are. Introduce great and powerful Jaromir.
Okay. They all seem to be fairly busy. The ship before it left hauled some supplies to shore, so everyone's kind of moving things back and forth, and it's approaching the end of the day. So we can interact with them tomorrow.
Well, perhaps I will interact with them during fire time storytelling.
Ooh. Okay. As you guys get ready for your first night here on the frozen continent, we're going to do a quick check-in with... Whose turn is it? 1, 2, 3. With Sean.
Okay.
Ferris, while everyone's getting ready to bed down and you're going to have your very first night here on this frozen wasteland, what's going through Ferris's head?
I think he's kind of disappointed, to be honest. Like, he wasn't expecting much, right? Like, humans often kind of fuck everything up when they try to build like big when they try to, yeah, like they can't do society well. But even this is kind of like within 2 minutes of getting here, somebody almost drowned, and the entire fort was in an uproar, and like all the work stopped. Like everything just seems really haphazard, and kind of disappointing compared to what he was hoping for when he came.
Yeah,
it feels like if anything's going to cause this expedition to be a success and get the book that he wants, it's going to be this party's kind of going to be the only competent force in this entire place.
Okay.
Aside from that, he's probably like a little bit homesick, kind of like it's the same kind of area, but he kind of misses his
misses his patch of frozen waste.
Yeah,
his log cabin out in the wilderness.
Yeah, like he misses his solitude, kind of not too used to sleeping with 3 other people.
Yeah, I can see that.
Oh, at one point he probably asked Grimes for a dagger. If he
did you?
I mean,
I asked. Yeah, what did you? I mean, yeah, I asked what you wanted, and then you went off like.
Pro
again or something.
He's got some like wood slats that he writes on, and he was gonna start carving with more writings with a dagger.
Yeah. Oh, Grimes will give you a dagger. Although I don't have a ton. Okay, I'll give you a dagger. Do you want to keep it permanently, or you just want to borrow it for the evening?
I was gonna start filling out more requisition forms with just like give me a god's damn dagger every single day.
All right. So should I delete it from my character sheet, or do you just want to borrow it?
I'll just borrow it for now.
Okay, that's better. Because I have 2 daggers and 3 throwing daggers, which is basically the bare minimum, right? So like if I do wind up, if I wind up throwing daggers, I can throw 2.
Yeah, I'll just borrow it for my writings tonight, and I'll fill out more requisition forms tomorrow.
So you can, Grimes is happy to lend you a dagger as needed, but I'll keep it on my character sheet.
Okay.
Cool. I think I'll offer Kel William some rope, because apparently he needs it.
Yeah.
And I could use with ditching the weight. So why don't I split it so we've each got 25 feet? Does that sound
Just
sensible?
make sure that you write it down as 25 feet, because...
So 25 feet of thick rope weighs 12 pounds.
Yeah, all right.
And we need to get some cash so we can buy silk.
Yes.
Okay. All right, well, I think that's that. Everyone goes to bed for the first night here. Unless there's something I'm missing. No, I think everyone just goes to sleep.
If little girl is still awake and living, would like to talk with her?
Sure. You find little Amelie.
Hello, little girl. I am
Hi.
Yeromir.
She looks at you with big, wide, slightly frightful eyes.
Is okay. My appearance may be rough, but Yeromir secretly has tender center. That came out more creepy than I meant. Tell me, little girl, why did you come here? Obviously you wish to be near parent. Understandable, but it's a very difficult journey for one your age.
She nods a little bit. I didn't want to be alone. They said I was going to have to live with my aunt. I don't like her. She smells funny.
Yes, it's difficult to live with someone who smells. You're familiar with problem. So,
Daddy
what
said
do
he
you
had to
come here
come
for?
here.
Are you not alone here?
I have my dad.
Does he not work? Does he
I help
go
with
out to
work.
camp?
I fetch things. I deliver messages. I'm useful.
Oh, you pitch in. Strong woman. Matovans would like you very much. Tell me, do you like intricate carvings? And I pull out one of my, Omen reading sticks.
Ooh, she looks at it with wonder.
Yes. Hold this for a moment. I have more. Would you like to play game with Yeromir?
She nods enthusiastically. She hasn't had anyone to play games with ever since she's been down here. I mean, some people will try and associate with her a little bit, but, they're busy.
This game is called Lions and Jackals. We have these sticks. They are carved in intricate patterns. I will teach you names, apparently, at one time. But today, we just play with them. Here. I, line them up, and I kind of set up this little, Omen reading circle. And I allow her to cast some sticks. And I'll make up names and bullshit with her. But I'd like to get a reading on this girl before I go to bed.
Okay. An Omen reading on the girl, you mean?
Yes.
Okay, so why don't you make me an Omen reading proficiency check?
Absolutely.
First dice roll.
Huh?
First dice roll.
First dice roll, indeed.
It's going to set the tone.
Actually, Omen reading is not that. It is Wisdom -2. Yeah.
15. Not
great.
super great. I think. How does Omen reading work? Do you remember?
Maybe is her future fuzzy? Hard to get a detail or a grasp of.
Let's take a look. This is going to be an important thing, so it's good for us to figure it out right now exactly how your Omen reading works.
Is it like a proficiency?
It is a proficiency. I'm just opening up the document that details its rules. It's a little slow to load. Omen reading. See, the DM makes proficiency. The DM makes a proficiency check in secret. If the character fails, the DM can tell them signs are inconclusive or make up a false answer. If the Omen reader succeeds, the DM gives the character a vague answer based on his assessment of the situation. Okay, so I'm going to re-roll it in secret.
What I did and you roll instead.
Yeah, and you've got a plus.
I have a wisdom of 14 and adjustment of -2, so 12.
Okay. Okay. These signs are still inconclusive.
Okay. Well, I play with girl for a little while longer. I'm teaching her, but at the same time making up fun stories for each of stick. This is Mighty Lion. It is King of Jungle and named Mufasa. And it will secretly die one day to evil cousin and be eaten. Is good. It's glorious Matavan story. I'm sure all kids hear terrible tales of death and rebirth all time.
She shakes her head.
Well, we shall have future meetings, Omni. I must go now.
Okay.
We'll play again another time.
Okay. You guys separate, and I think bed down for that first night.
Mm-hmm.
I have added into Roll20 under the handouts area some artwork that we've done for the NPCs, or that has been done for the NPCs. These were all made by one of our chat members who goes by the name Ignorance. I'm going to see if I can't find a way to show them on screen for everyone else. So that way you can kind of flip through the NPCs if you want and get a better idea for who they are and what they look like. This is...
Captain Hughes likes mascara.
Captain Hughes looks badass. Yeah.
She does. Very.
Is it in chat?
No, it's in Roll20.
Oh, Roll20. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, so on screen now we have Captain Hughes, and this is Corporal Alicia, and here's David the cook. We're just going to cycle through them real quick for everyone to see.
Corporal Alicia looks pretty cool, but it's a shame that the actual NPC is such a waste of life.
Sergeant Elizabeth looks like she's about to be a Final Fantasy XIV character.
Yes. Well,
I'm pretty sure there is a Final Fantasy XIV character who looks like that.
Yeah. This is Sergeant Joseph over here. I think the previous one, I forgot to mention Elizabeth. This is Elizabeth.
Oh, check out Sergeant Mallory. This is my girl. Best girl right here.
Wait, where?
Sergeant Mallory.
We
haven't really met her yet.
No,
Okay.
You haven't met her yet. She is the hunter of the non-commissioned officers. They all have their own subset of skills in addition to leading soldiers.
Where do all the officers stay?
Each NCO lives with his or her squad in their little barracks.
The barracks are co-ed?
Yeah. Yeah. It's a non-issue here in the Frozen Frontier. You kind of need to put aside those sorts of things if you want to survive.
It's too cold for it anyways.
All right. that sort of thing can happen amongst soldiers as please. Hopefully it won't come into game too much. So we can just skip to the next day.
Yep.
Yes, please.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I will wake up early and start getting my armor on. In the absence of a squire, it's going to take me a while to get all my gear together.
You just wear chain, don't you?
Yeah. But
You can,
Quick.
yeah, chain shirts are easy. You don't need a squire for those.
hey man,
He's used to
I
a
want a
squire.
squire.
He's
Yeah, right.
accustomed to a certain style of living, you know?
Plus, like once you've got your chain on, you can't move your arms as much. So to get the heavy cloak on and then I get the javelins on my back, it's a bit of an effort. So I wake up early. I don't sleep that much anyway, and I'll I don't know, like go out into the outside of the fort, sort of
We're
survey.
planning
forests.
to combat
Get-
today, yes?
Yes.
Probably, yeah.
Going
As you guys-
kobold hunting, I think.
Wake
I will-
up today.
I will change my spells around then.
Oh yeah, Neal.
Yes.
Are these like a weird derivation of kobolds? Because I thought kobolds were reptiles.
So our kobolds in Arcadia are more canine than reptile. Yeah. So
No,
they are
because I remember you being like, "There's kobolds here," and I was like, "Wait,
yes.
wait."
They're related to what are they called? Gnolls, and any other sort of hyena-like or canine-like creatures.
Okay.
Hyenas are not canines.
Aren't they?
No, they are their own genus.
Let's hope there's no gnolls around because they could be dangerous.
Are you sure, Ryan? I could have sworn
100%.
although hyenas appear similar to dogs, they're actually more closely related to cats. No shit.
Whoa.
Damn.
Holy shit.
Well, there goes all the lore from my world. All right, in these worlds, hyenas are dog-like because that's just the way it's been written. Well, you're kind of freaking me out, Ryan.
No, why did I do that? What did I do? Panic.
You guys wake up, you start to get dressed, you're memorizing spells, you're putting on your chainmail, you get called over for supper, or for breakfast, and when someone opens the door to come in or out, you notice that it's moderately windy outside. There's a pretty good breeze. It's blowing some snowflakes around, kind of kicking up a bit of a storm. It's definitely workable. You can travel in this weather, but it is moderately windy, which is going to reduce the distance you can travel and, you know, all that fun stuff.
We're not going too far. I think we're gonna still go out.
Yep.
All right. So
If we are gonna freeze to death, I'll be the last one to go.
get everyone ready and let's set out first thing. We're not here to mess around and make friends.
Yeah. No. Get me the hell away from these people, man. Like, I can't even get a dagger in this place.
All right.
Are we bringing
Fires.
food or anything with us?
Yeah, we probably have like 2 days of rations for everyone, would be my guess. Like, Ferris always suggests, because like he's the survivalist, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to suggest the group takes more in provisions than we plan to use, because we
Yeah,
can
I
always
think-
bring back the excess.
2 days is probably fair just in case we get caught in a
Because
blizzard.
we plan to like come back today, I assume, right? We're going out to try and pick a fight and get some kobold prisoners.
Did you put in the proper requisition form?
If I
don't have
fill
to
out another one of those damn requisition forms, I'm going to shove it down the corporal's throat myself. You fill it out.
So Neal, how much does 2 days rations weigh?
Each day of ration weighs 2 pounds, I believe is what we had discussed.
Per person or for the group?
Per person. Yeah,
Alright,
you eat 2 pounds of food a day.
Who can
Am I-
carry their own rations?
Yeah.
I can carry
Am
my
I given rations?
Someone has to fill out a requisition form.
I'll do it first thing.
Accounting and dragons, guys. It's the
Yeah.
wave of the future.
All right, so I can carry my own rations.
I can as
Okay.
well.
Jeremy, do you need me to carry yours?
Oh yes, I cannot carry anything else.
Okay,
And
so
is water necessary, or can you just eat the snow?
we'll heat up the snow.
You could eat the snow. You should probably, if you're not willing to eat snow, you should carry your own water skins. Do you guys have pots and pans in order to melt snow into water?
No.
No. Okay.
Would you mind requisitioning me some water?
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, does that not come in the rations? No.
No. It's assumed that you're not carrying like multi-days worth of water on you, that you'll stop and melt water or make water or whatever along the way. You just need water skins.
How much are we paying for a cooking pot? Weight, I mean.
There's no cooking pot in the fort that you can take with you. That's just a supply you just don't have now. You can order it from the mainland when the next ship comes.
So we do need to take water then.
No, we'll just reduce the amount of time that you can spend moving if you're having to munch on snow and stuff. It's all right. This is your first expedition down here. You'll get a feel for things, and you'll move more swimmingly as you.
Yeah, I mean,
as we
travel
go
time
forward.
is assumed that you have like breaks for food and stuff, right? Like,
Right.
You can always
All
do
right.
that when we take
How much weight worth of firewood do I need to take if we need to make 2 nights worth of fires?
It's 1 pound of firewood is 1 hour of burn time. But you're in a forest right now, so you can take
We can
firewood or you can just collect
We can
it.
just collect it, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we're all right then. So I'll
Does anyone
carry
have an axe?
Jeremy's rations.
William, fill out a requisition form for an axe.
Can I get an axe, Neal?
You can fill out a requisition form for an axe.
Yeah.
Corporal Alicia, tell me what you're requisitioning, and then we'll see how Corporal Alicia reacts to all of that.
Alright, so I need rations for 2 days for 4 people, so 8 days worth of rations.
Mhm.
And an axe.
And an axe. and the rations are fairly obvious. She doesn't question it to you and immediately assigns you your rations. And she looks at the four of you and goes, "You didn't bring an axe?"
I assume
Why
that
are we
one
supposed to
here-
bring all of our own materials? Isn't that the purpose of requisitioning these?
Faris, please. I'm sorry, Alicia.
You're
we thought we
supposed to
would-
be self-sufficient. We don't need parasites down here. Don't have an axe. Battle axe, wood axe.
Wood axe.
She grumbles to herself, makes some marks in her ledger, and provides you with a wood axe. But before releasing it from her grip, she looks at you in the eyes and says, "This is our only spare axe for the time being. Don't lose it, and don't break it."
Thank you. How much does it weigh?
I need to look it up.
Okay.
And did I get a water skin with the rations, or is it?
Yeah, you can have a water.
I mean, they're all empty, right?
Yeah, they're empty, but you can have one.
Yeah, we just.
Where is wood axe? You guys haven't been making the best of friends with Corporal Alicia yet. Wood axe
She
is
doesn't
3.5
seem to make
pounds.
friends with anyone.
She seems, rather prickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She might have to go. We might have to get a new requisition officer. But that's a story for another day. We'll take care of that when the need arises.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I won't be condoning taking over the fort through military means. At least not yet.
Oh no, not the fort. I just want to get rid of her so that we can get somebody who maybe isn't completely useless as our requisition officer.
I think everyone's useless.
Yeah, cynical bastard. All right, let's get going then.
Okay. You guys are all geared up. You've only been here for a half a day, and you're ready to head out into the frozen wastes.
Mm-hmm.
When I was locked up, the thing I longed for most was some human interaction. After a day in this bloody place, I can't wait to get outside and away from these loonies.
It's been a rough start, but
I wasn't expecting much from a human colony, but honestly, that fort was a pretty big letdown.
So the fort is at the very northern tip of Caledonia.
Yep.
I guess you guys probably don't actually know what the rest of the continent looks like to the south. I'll probably hide that from view in the future. But that's where you guys start. It's a forested wonderland as far as the eye can see.
I think
And
that...
there's really only one way to go, is south, unless you want to go around the coastlines.
So I was thinking that maybe, Faris, feel free to... let me just zoom in on the map here. Feel free to correct me if you don't think this is the best approach.
Sure.
Well, I think we should go along the coast here like this, and then go across like that. Go along the coast, go across like that, and start trying to cover all the ground to see if there's anything of interest anywhere near the fort.
Agreed.
So let's do this.
At least
for a few
until we
days.
start going further south.
Yeah.
This way we have a quick. Because right now we're just trying to cover as much ground as possible, right?
Yeah.
We're trying to find the couples. Yeah. So that's he would agree with that because that gets us the most area covered while also keeping us closer to the fort.
Sorry, Ryan. Sorry, go on.
I was gonna ask what the terrain is like. So you said there was a slope from the beach. There's a rocky beach.
Yeah, the fort
cliff
is
to the
maybe 30 or 40 feet above the sea level.
And then it's a rocky cliff face, or what's it like down out to the ocean?
The ocean is very rocky.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. There's not a sandy beach to be found anywhere.
And then once you're
inland,
shore,
is
it flat? Is there a grade?
Yeah, they've got maybe 20 feet of beach land before you have this grade that goes up 30 or 40 feet. The grade's not too terribly steep. It looks like they've picked a spot where it's fairly easy to get up like that. And then once you're up on top of the plateau on the hill, things are fairly level out into the woods. That's just it.
All right.
The area around the fort has been cut back maybe 300 feet on all sides in order to, provide the materials for the fort and also give everyone a nice clear view of whatever's around you. So there's no chance of someone sneaking up.
So I think maybe we go to the coast, then go 50 feet into the woods, and then just follow that line around the edge of the forest, and then go 50 feet further up, follow it back around.
Only 50 feet?
Probably more than that. 15 minutes of going southward, and then we cover more distance.
So Grimes is hanging back and letting, I don't know, Ferris or William lead the way. But I'm certainly wandering more than 50 feet. Like 50 feet
all right,
is a pretty wide berth, right?
It's like we would basically just be covering the same ground at that point. Like we'd be able to see our tracks while we're walking back the other way.
Agreed. All right. So maybe it's like half a kilometer or something.
Mm-hmm.
So, are you planning on heading out and back in the same day, or are you planning on spending one night out?
The goal right now is to capture kobolds and learn more about them.
Okay. Does anyone speak kobold?
No, but we have means of getting around that.
Who said that? Voice from above.
Okay. So
we'll deal with kobolds.
I technically have like language spots for days I never bothered filling.
Yeah, I've got languages.
all right.
I got
So-
language skills.
You guys. Oh yeah. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, if I spot a nice looking tree, I will climb it and try and get a view of what's inland. But or maybe periodically,
Sure.
Grimes will scurry up a tree and try
Well,
and get the scout.
This whole area is fairly wooded, so it's going to be kind of a bitch to find a tree that you can climb up and get a view of things. I think over the course of the day, you'll find some tree that does poke high enough up that
So
you
every
can climb
time
to a
I
spot
find
and get a view.
Every time I find a tree that's larger than those around it, I'll scurry up it and try and get a view.
Your view is just like this forested canopy. You can see the mountains in the distance that
Really?
point south, but it's
Okay, yeah.
But you could probably from the treetops you could see the mountains 20 miles away. Yeah, easy.
Okay, and I can see to this river here.
You don't see the river. The river's frozen over. You guys will eventually come across it, but it's solid right now.
Okay. Right.
While we're
So I
walking,
I
Ferris
don't
will say.
think. Yeah. No, go ahead.
While we're walking, Ferris will say to Yaramir, "You said you were a skilled medic, yes?
Yes, is a skill I pick up.
Should we wound a kobold in combat? Can you save its life?"
Potentially, given enough. I have single med kit. Swimming wound is not too grievous, and we get to it in time. In terms of life or death situations, is all about time. I only have about, I would say, if we broke combat into rounds, one of them, in order to actually save its life.
That will do.
All right. You guys set off and begin your switchback patrol of the area. It's your first day trudging through the tundra, through the snow, and you make it about 5 miles over the course of the whole day, which isn't a great distance, but it's moderately windy, which is slowing you down. It's also a little bit colder, and I think this is the appropriate time to talk about our cold system again.
Okay.
So every hour that you spend out in the cold, you lose a certain number of cold points depending on the weather conditions out there. Is it 1 for calm, 2 for light, 3 for moderate, or is it 0 for calm, 1 for light, 2
That's
for
up to
moderate?
the DM. I was
We chatted
imagining
about this before, and I can't remember. off the
I don't
top
think
of my head.
we came
1,
to
2,
a
3
decision.
is what I had suggested, but
Yeah.
that was the part of the system I had.
I think we
tentatively
talked
up
about
to you.
0, 1, 2, but that was back when we thought about lowering base warmth in general and making cold only an issue in extract.
1, 2, 3 is how I had.
1,
Yeah,
2,
I think
3.
I think 1, 2, 3 is what we settled on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Blizzard was big asterisk.
so with losing 3 points per hour, how long do you guys want to spend hiking through the snow?
I can go all day at that. How long does it take us to recover our warmth?
Warmth
1
points. Go ahead, Brian.
Similar to the rate you lose them,
Okay, so if we
Right.
set up a tent
So
with a
1
fire, how much are we gonna get?
like 3 points an hour.
Okay, so yeah, we can just go all day. I think everyone has at
Yeah.
least 20.
Everyone's got at least
But
20 points.
over the course of the day, Ferris is going to. You said that we could have like weather sense be a thing as part of the survival proficiency. And Ferris is going to try and get a feel for what kind of weather is looming on the horizon.
Okay, I like that. Let's see, we rolled that for our weather conditions. Let's roll this for tomorrow's weather conditions.
And I'll go. Do you want me to make a check?
Yeah. Yeah, why don't we?
31.
Very nice.
No, why is it 3 per hour if it's not a blizzard?
Said it's
Is it?
moderate.
It's moderate.
So it
I
should
thought
not be
moderate
two.
was 2.
There's
No,
calm,
calm is
light,
1, light
moderate.
is 2, moderate is 3.
What's
Blizzard
blizzard?
is special.
Okay.
Okay.
So with your 31, you are getting the sense that whatever cold front has pushed in, or this windy front has pushed in, is maybe blowing itself out.
Mhm. So we're expecting better weather tomorrow.
You are expecting better weather tomorrow.
Okay.
I still don't think we want to spend the night out here.
I suggest that we can set up a tent and spend the night.
Yeah, let's try it. If it's better tomorrow, I think we should maybe try it.
Yeah, it'd be a waste of a day. Like I'm expecting better weather tomorrow, so it'd be a waste of a day to travel back now.
Sure. You guys do your switch back. You really only make it 5 miles. Mm-hmm. You're having to like stop to try and melt water, or just kind of like not move too much before, or having trouble moving through the deep snow drifts. You know, the terrain before you is not ground, it's like snow, and so occasionally there might be a ravine, and all of a sudden someone will drop to their hips. Then you guys have to like haul him out of the snow drift and then carefully move forward. You've all got snowshoes, so you're able to make some progress.
How much does snowshoes weigh?
We'll just keep it the gear of your boots already.
Yeah.
Okay. You can add a pound for it if you really want, but I was going to let it just be your existing foot gear.
Jaromir does not want to add a pound.
Yeah, it's fine.
So are we staying out tonight then, Faris?
We might as well. We should head back tomorrow, but we can cover more ground today. Because like we're going in a switchback system, so even if we spend a couple days traveling, we can probably make it back within a day.
Yeah. So when you say we did 5 miles, Neal, you're saying we did 5 miles out on the switchback?
I'm saying you made 5 miles of linear progress, so you're probably less than a mile from camp by the end of the day.
How many hours?
Over the whole day of hiking, over the 8 hours
so
that
8
you
hours.
spend. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So everyone loses 24 cold points.
We would stop
24?
before 8 hours.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think
Does
we'll
someone...
I have 23.
Yeah,
sure.
So 6 should be safe, because I think everyone has 20, so we'd want to do...
So you do like 7 hours of hiking, and you get to 21 cold points drained?
That's my limit, yeah.
Yep.
Is that fine for everyone?
That's fine.
Yep.
I'll lose 1 con, but that's okay.
Yeah, we'll get it back. Because it comes back normally, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
As you regain warmth points, your con returns.
Yeah, so we'll do a normal thing. Jaromir starts to get pretty cold, so we set up camp for the night after about 7 hours.
I set up our tent. Faris makes a fire.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we just collect like firewood and stuff like that. Everyone's around us.
We saw no sign of life.
No sign of life. Not a single set of tracks anywhere.
No animals even.
No animals. No. At some points you heard the sounds of birds, but you never saw any. Again, with the moderate breeze and the snow being picked up by it, it's not blizzarding conditions, but there's still reduced visibility. So perhaps the animals are all staying low. There's definitely no way you could have found any prints. In fact, your own prints are difficult to find once you've stopped for more than an hour.
All right.
You have a wood cutting axe and enough supplies to create your own little campfire and set up your tent.
So I give Jaromir his rations for the night.
Mm-hmm.
Cook my own. I think everyone gets in the tent and eats food and huddles down. Are we making 2 black per hour that we rest?
So we have a tent and the fire.
Yeah. So the tent reduces it to 1, and then the fire adds 3. Is that right? So we're getting 2.
Okay.
Is that right? Losing 1 for the cold, and then getting 3 for the fire. So
when does the weather switch? Is it the next day when we get up, or is it at midnight?
Yeah, it's the next day.
Basically, we would gain it back faster if it happens while we sleep.
Right.
So
it'll happen. It's not going to happen like when you wake up. So it'll happen sometime over the course of the night. I think by the next morning you'll all be back to full.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you're spending 7 hours hiking, and then you're spending more than 8 hours resting.
Yeah.
Right. You're spending closer to like 12 or 13 hours resting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you should be fine.
All right, everyone back to full. Get up early then. And is Faris right that the weather is better today?
The weather is slightly better. Instead of being moderately breezy, it's lightly breezy.
So just to check on the recovery, the tent. Which kind of a tent do we have?
A large pavilion tent, I think, or a large tent.
Okay, so the tents in your inventory system didn't match what we said in the.
So the tent reduces it to calm, right? That's right.
Right.
Yeah,
reduces by 2 categories.
2 categories. Okay. And then the fire adds +3 per hour.
Okay.
So we're losing 1 for calm per hour, but gaining +3 per hour for the tent.
So 2.
+2 per hour.
Yeah, so we need to rest
like 13 hours.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we're fine for the next morning.
Okay.
But we've only got 1 more day's ration, so we can spend 1 more day out, but we have to be able to go back the next day.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is your first time out here. You don't recognize any landmarks. How do you want to make sure that you...
I mean, we can go off of...
We can follow the coast.
Right? Yeah.
Right, follow the coast.
We're in the woods. We're in the woods somewhere, right? We're not on the coast at the end of the day.
Yeah, but we're like going from coast to coast, essentially, with the system. Like, we're walking to the coast, then back to the other.
Okay.
So you head out on the next day.
Hold up. I can solve that problem, right? I have direction sense, I thought.
Oh, perfect.
I did not take it.
So if we want to go a direction, I can. Yeah. Yaromir will point way.
The fort is north, so with your direction sense, you're rarely going to find yourself lost, only in some sort of like total whiteout condition.
Right. Yeah. So where this is the part I didn't understand when we set out. We're doing this weird, just like wandering,
so
and
we're not trying to go straight. We're trying to cover area.
Yeah.
So we're like going south a little bit, then we go like.
So we're like a mile from the fort at the end of the day, right? And like on the.
So we're like.
Yeah. No wonder we didn't see anything.
Yeah, we went like south for 2 miles, and Nick drew it out. We're
except
like trying to cover area.
Except in 5 miles, we made it to like here.
Yeah.
Right, because you're switching back, so you're not actually covering. You're not getting very far at all.
Okay.
We're probably
so maybe we
somewhere
camp on that coast. Okay.
Yeah. And that's kind of the goal. We're trying not to go far from the fort. We're just trying to cover area because we want to spring an encounter.
And this is the last day of rations, so we need to make it back to the camp.
We can go back tomorrow. Yeah, it's fine.
We've got food for another night.
Yeah, like we're fine for the rest of the day as long as we go back tomorrow.
Yeah. All right, let's get out.
All right, so you're setting out on the second day across the frozen wastes. You're in this nice, heavily wooded area.
We need to sort out food real quick, because if we're counting it as we eat at night, that consumes all our rations.
Yes.
We're good for the next day. That's a weird.
So tomorrow we're not going to start starving over the course of a single day.
Food to help you stay warm.
Yeah, we'll be stumbling back into camp or into.
You're going to be
we're only like a couple of miles
for a day with no food.
No, because we're a couple miles out. It's going to take us like a couple hours to get back to camp, and that's
why it took you all day to go 5 miles. So if you're 3 miles,
we will be pushing it. If we don't make it back to camp tomorrow, we'll start starving.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. We are going to be stumbling into camp or into the fort, hungry.
That's all right though. I mean, like we can be out of rations for a day anyway.
And that's why like
the lighter weather and your has really helped you guys here. And you've also found slightly firmer ground where there's fewer ravines and the snow is harder packed. So instead of the miserable 5 miles that you made it yesterday, you're easily doubling your rate of movement over the course of today.
Okay. So have we sprung any encounters early in the day?
Well, that's what we're talking about here. So you're marching through the snows, and I would like everyone to make me a perception check, please.
What's my perception? 14.
15.
19. Oh my god.
Grimes, what are you doing?
What are you doing, Grimes? How do you roll a 1?
I don't know. I'm probably like halfway up a tree or something.
He's so busy
trying to get a better view, but all I can see is branches. I picked the wrong tree to climb, and I'm just like looking at pine needles.
Right. So while you guys are just looking at pine needles, Yaromir, you notice in the snow up ahead there's some impressions. It looks like footprints. They're a little old. They've been covered up with some snow, but you saw how your footprints disappeared quickly yesterday, so these must be tracks from today.
Everyone, Yaromir's arcane senses have pointed out to me the footprints of a small woodland creature. I believe we may be on track of finding the legendary snowbold.
Where are they at, man?
Faris, take a look.
First, you have a tracking proficiency?
I do. What do these look like, prince-wise?
Well, why don't you give me a tracking check?
Okay, but just like looking at them, do they look bipedal is one thing I'm wondering.
Yes, they're definitely bipedal prints.
So I don't know if there's an 14. So D20 is 14, 28.
Ooh, 28 is nice. Okay, so you're looking at these prints, and the first thing that comes to your mind is these are not kobold prints. These are way too big. These are like person-sized prints.
Do they look human-shaped as well, or like humanoid-shaped?
They're definitely humanoid-shaped. It's definitely a bipedal creature.
Okay.
And you rolled a 28.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's about. Yeah, it could be a patrol. It could be maybe a patrol sent out from Fort Wick. It could be, well, something humanoid-sized.
Okay, they're not like
They
massive,
look like
right? They don't look like ogre or giant-sized.
No, they're definitely humanoid-sized.
Okay.
There's no way a patrol went out this far.
Yeah, I relate that to the party and say perhaps goblins.
Gnolls, maybe.
It's possible. Some sort of humanoid. I don't think it's one of your men.
See if you can follow them, Faris.
Very well. And I will start to follow these prints.
You do indeed see that the prints are headed northeast. You are maybe about directly south of the fort right now, and you're probably...
So, yeah, that's good. So we're heading back as we...
Yeah, you're actually probably right at the river. In fact, the prints do end up crossing onto the river, which you're seeing for the first time now. It's this nice, wide, like 150-foot section where there's no trees. It's just like this open roadway all of a sudden out of the middle of nowhere. And as you're marching along, your feet kind of sink down into really hard ground. You dig around in the snow a little while and uncover a thick sheet of ice beneath you.
Neal, can I use my gauge skill on a target that I have not seen? Like, can I try and gauge what this creature is based on the footprints at some huge penalty?
No, I don't think so. You might be able to gauge its movement rate based on the distance of the feet being apart, but but not the actual.
Wouldn't
like,
that be more of a tracking thing?
Yeah,
like picking up track spacing.
That you could also do that with tracking too. Yes.
All right. Can I give that a shot?
Sure.
So what penalty would you give for just basing it off of the tracks, having never seen the creature?
Okay, let me open up our new thief thing.
Yeah, that's what I was. That's what I'm looking at
is
now.
a day of trial and error and figuring out how things work.
Well, I figure I want to test these skills out before they actually matter.
Yeah. All right, let's open.
I mean, I'm also wondering if, like, based on the footfall, I could gauge like some sort of like size or.
Okay, so you're trying to get general information on. I'm going to say something strange. You know, because these are just prints in the ground. You're not sure what they are, so you need a 27 on your gauge to pick up some sort of information regarding.
My gauge skill is 11, so probably not going to happen. But no. Worth firing it up.
Okay, you take a look at these prints.
About that? With my,
you got a 28 with your tracking check. These look to be, as I said before, humanoid prints of something roughly human-sized, judging on the distance between them.
So look like roughly human speed.
Right, but you're also picking up a lot of them. It's not just a single thing. It looks like there's at least 5 creatures in here, although the tracks kind of merge together and mesh and kick around, so it's hard to get
they're not writing single file to hide their number.
They're not sand people.
Okay. So I mentioned they seem roughly humanoid sized, roughly humanoid shaped, about the same size as a human, so likely about the same speed.
So it could be orcs or gnolls.
Yeah. And I say there's about 5.
All right. Well, be careful, because if we get ambushed here, someone could die.
Perhaps you should keep an eye out while I do the tracking.
Yeah, everyone keep watch. Okay. I draw my sword.
All right. You guys follow the frozen river, which is where these tracks are going. They're actually winding right down the center of the river, and you follow it to the coast.
We're walking on top of the river?
It's solid ice, yeah. The tracks are on top of the river.
Grimes doesn't trust it. He's walking on the bank of the river.
Fair enough. You can easily see the party. They're maybe 80 feet from you.
Okay. And I'll scurry up a large tree whenever I get the chance.
Okay, make me a perception check while you're up one of these trees.
Yeah, if they're on the river, you might be able to see them.
Yeah, so I'm like dashing ahead, climbing trees, jumping out of them, what have you. Barely even passing. So 21?
21? Okay. Excellent. So one of these times that you're up a tree, you're getting near to the ocean. You can see the ocean from your tree. You can see where the river kind of comes and empties out. And you see the movement of 7 figures down by where the ocean meets the beach.
How far is the distance here?
Maybe a mile.
I can make a whistle from the tree. Oi!
What is it, Grimes?
I can see them.
What are they?
There's 7. By my count. They're hard to tell. About a mile out. They look pretty. Are they bundled up, Neal?
Yeah.
Yeah. Bundled in maybe furs. Can't quite tell what they are.
Oh, we could always do with more furs for Yaramir over there.
Grimes.
What do you say?
I can have no more furs. I am at max fur capacity.
Grimes. You have weapons for throwing, do you
Do
not?
they look at all like people in Fort Grimes?
They're
Everyone
mile
looks-
out.
Yeah, everyone looks the same, wrapped up in fur.
Grimes. You have weapons for throwing, do you not?
I do
Sure.
not think we should kill
can't-
Rogan.
I thought you mentioned you
I'm
had
good with the
throwing down.
dart, but I can't throw a mile.
No. Come with me. We'll ambush them from cover. Early shots into a resting camp might break their morale early. Perhaps we can
Let's get
avoid a
closer.
fight altogether.
That's a plan I can get behind.
We've
I
backed them
jump-
into the edge of the cliff here anyway, so...
Yeah, I jump out of the tree and approach. What's the... So this looks like a bay that we're approaching, Neal?
A slight bay, yeah.
Is there a cliff or something overlooking the bay? Or is it just a gradual
Yeah,
decline?
from your spot in the tree, you can see that the river comes out in this area, but it looks like the terrain is higher on either side of the river. Like it's carved its way in a bit of a canyon down. They're probably going to have cliffs on either side of the river when it juts out to sea.
And were these figures were in the bay though? They were like at the shore.
They were at the shore, right. They're too far away to make out any specific details of what they were doing.
Yeah. But I think we can at least Ferris and I can sit atop the cliff and pick at them.
You can,
and I
you
think
can get a look from a closer tree, though.
Yeah, so I think the plan right now is to move up like a good half mile, and then once we're about a half mile away from them, we're gonna start like taking it slow, moving from cover to cover, trying to stay out of sight as we approach.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we take our second break,
All right.
and when we come back, we will find out what these things are.
All right.
So, see you guys on the other side of our break. Bye-bye.
See ya.